Hi. Today I'm gonna do a follow-up on this knife, the Dalstrong Infinity Blade. I used it this morning, put it back in the sheath, and while I was using it, you, I felt a sense that I really don't need to experiment with any more knives. This one really works fine for me. Not that any other knives are, not that this is the most superior knife I've found. I just using it, it felt comfortable in my hand. It felt great cutting the items. It almost felt, well, it felt like an extension of my hand, in that it was comfortable, the work was easy to do, and I'm not a professional chef, so I don't really cook a whole lot. So for me, this knife worked for cutting up the fruits that I make the fruit smoothies with. And this is an 8-inch chef's knife. Now, the Kyocera knife is a ceramic knife as well, but it's a 6-inch. This is a 6-inch blade, not an 8, and it's it's a good knife, but for the price, it's just not worth it to me. I'll actually be taking this back to the store. It cut fine, but I can't really compare the two knives because um, one is a chef knife, one is a sandoku. Two different type of tools. But with this one, because of the narrow part here, I can do some pairing work with it if I needed to, using the narrower side. If I'm doing long slices, I can use the whole knife to do so. Again, this came with nothing, just the knife, and this knife, the Infinity knife, came with a whole lot of things, and not just crap. It came with of course, the box. Very nice box, useful box that I can use to store it, and of course the stuff that's molded in there, mold fit. So, you know, it's useful. It's very useful. If you look at my other video, you'll see what else came with the box. This cover that goes over the box, I'll be throwing that away. In fact, I'll throw it away now. The 2 pamphlets that came with it, I already signed up for the VIP stuff, so hopefully some savings will come from that, if any. And I threw away the other paper that talked about if I like the knife or if I don't like the knife, because I could go online and get that information. The difference between the two knives, as far as in general, this one is 200 pounds of pressure. I'm sorry, 200 tons of pressure used to mold it, and this one they use 300 tons of pressure to mold it. So I'm assuming the Kyocera knife would be more compact, dense in its compression structure, whereas this one would not be so much. But this one has been in the furnace, they say, for 4 days, no less than 4 days. So I don't know, in a kiln, I don't know if that makes a difference in any way, shape, or form. I don't really work with ceramics like that. This one, 2 days. So again, they're both great knives, but I like this one. It's easy to, it's just, I feel like I don't need to look for another knife now. Again, the reason why I got into the knife stuff, one of my kids is aspiring to be a chef, and I got her a set of Victoria knives after doing all the research. There are a lot of expensive knives out there. I looked at the Shun knives. They're very expensive. It's really not in her class, her skill set yet. So when you look at these items, they're tools to me. The right tool for the job, for the right skill set. Because you may take a tool that you're not skilled in using and do a crappy work, and because you're just not at that level. And I feel that way when it comes to sharp things like knives and so forth. So um, the Victorinox knife for her will work. But as for me, I was doing further research and I'm seeing the different types of knives. So I say, let me look into them, see if they're applicable for her, and if not, if they're applicable for me. As far as hopefully this information you guys can use in your pursuit for a healthy lifestyle, as far as choosing the right tools to prepare your meals. Um, in my opinion, any knife, if you don't have kids who will destroy your stuff, get yourself a good set of knives that you can use for the rest of your life and don't have to worry about picking up any more. But if you have a lot of kids, um, I would say this: stick with a cheap knife, probably like the Victorinox or Dexter. This is an 18 chef knife. They're cheap, about like $40 a knife. Of course, there's the Walmart brands. They have some Chicago knives that work fine too. If they break, you could always replace it for like $20 or something like that. And they're stainless steel. But if you buy yourself, those knives, you could also use those knives. I don't really see a big deal for home users to have exotic knives, because we're not cutting enough stuff for it to make a difference, for us to feel a difference. It's like buying a computer with all the best, fastest processors and stuff, and we don't really utilize a lot of that. We just have it just for show. This particular knife I did buy it because it was pretty to look at. I really wanted to test out the ceramic knives, see if how they work now, because back in the day they weren't really much to look at. And this one I'm happy with. I'm comfortable with it. I can use this. When I used this morning for the first time, I didn't feel. I just lost interest in even testing other knives. That doesn't mean I won't test some more knives in preparing my stuff, but this one works fine for me. And of course, the box makes a big deal. I can store it in here. My kids can't get to it. I can keep it in my room, and just have another set of cheap knives for them to use. Because again, I saw one of them hacking ice with one of my good knives, one of the Dexter knives. As far as these being used in a professional kitchen, I really can't speak about that because I don't work in a professional kitchen, nor do I have experience with that. I do see a place for it, maybe alongside some of the more sharper knives like the Global and the Shuns and the Henkel, maybe the Kramer knives, for some use. But if you're on a budget, I could see it being used in replacement, as an alternative to some of the more expensive knives. But again, that's not for me to recommend, because I don't work in that environment. As far as home use goes, it's a great knife. You have no kids around, you can clean it, store it in the box, and leave it somewhere in the kitchen. It works great. I don't really use a whole lot of meat, and the meats that I do use tend to be already be prepared. So I guess when I do a turkey for Thanksgiving, I'll see. But it's highly unlikely I'll use that knife for that. It seems to work great for my fruits and vegetables when I do smoothies. So hopefully this video was informative. Like the video if you like it, subscribe, ask questions for more details down below. I'll be looking into the Amorous steel blades or the memory steel blades to see if they are worth getting. There's a company, V-Matter, makes Amorous steel knives. It's supposed to be liquid injected metal, so it comes out as it is supposed to, and it's sharper than stainless steel, like 70 on the Rockwell scale, but it's flexible. You all have a good day.